Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wills, Women, and Wealth podcast, where we lead you holistically from overwhelmed to empowered through estate planning. I'm Elsa W. Smith, your Maryland estate planning and probate attorney, and the host of this podcast. We're here to empower women who value their health, wealth, and the legacies that they're creating. Our podcast covers various topics, including finance, law, mental and physical health, and more. We aim to provide you with valuable information, expert interviews, and educational episodes that answer your questions about wills, estate planning, and probate topics. Remember, this is a community, so please engage with us. If you have questions or topics you'd like us to discuss, reach out to us on social media or leave a comment. You can find all of our episodes on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, so make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for our upcoming content. Today's topic is identifying and avoiding conflicts of interest when the personal representative is a beneficiary. Our roadmap for this solo podcast begins by answering the question of whether a personal representative can be a beneficiary. Next, we'll review the responsibilities of a personal representative. And lastly, we'll delve into conflicts of interest that can arise for personal representatives or for a personal representative when she is also a beneficiary. So let's begin. First, can a personal representative also be a beneficiary? Well, the answer is yes. A personal representative can also be a beneficiary in a will. In fact, it's not uncommon for individuals to appoint a family member, friend, or someone else they trust as both the personal representative of their estate and as a beneficiary to receive assets or property. However, this dual role can potentially lead to conflicts of interest, and it's important to manage such situations carefully to ensure a fair and transparent administration of the estate. Now, let me explain what the role of a personal representative is. In a nutshell, the role of a personal representative involves managing the estate of a deceased person according to their wishes as outlined in their will. Now, 8 key responsibilities of a personal representative include 1. Identifying and taking inventory of the deceased person's assets and liabilities. 2. Distributing assets to beneficiaries as specified in the will after paying off debts and expenses. 3. Handling legal and administrative procedures, such as filing tax returns on behalf of the deceased. 4. Communicating with beneficiaries and other stakeholders regarding the progress of the estate settlement. 5. Managing and protecting the estate's assets until distribution. 6. Closing accounts, canceling credit cards, and taking care of other financial matters related to the deceased person. 7. Notifying relevant parties, such as banks and government agencies, of the individual's death. And 8. Maintaining accurate records of all transactions and communications related to the estate. Now that we know that a personal representative can be a beneficiary, and we have a basic understanding of the duties of a personal representative, let's look at 3 conflicts of interest that can arise for personal representatives who are also beneficiaries. First, we're going to look at what we call the asset distribution hypothetical. Imagine a scenario where the deceased in their will specified that the estate should be distributed equally among their 3 children, Alice, Bob, and Carol. The estate includes a valuable family home, a collection of stocks, and a significant amount of cash. In this hypothetical, the personal representative of the will is also one of the beneficiaries. Let's say Bob. Bob, being the personal representative, has the responsibility to oversee the distribution of assets. However, he decides to allocate a larger share of the estate to himself. And here's how the conflict unfolds. The family home is a considerable asset in the estate. Instead of selling the home and distributing the proceeds equally among the siblings, Bob proposes that he keep the house as part of his share, claiming sentimental value and suggesting it would be in the family's best interest. Next, the estate also holds a diverse portfolio of stocks. Bob, as the personal representative, decides to select the most lucrative stocks for himself, leaving the less profitable ones for Alice and Carol. He argues that it's a fair distribution based on his perceived contribution to the family's financial decisions. Next, when it comes to the cash portion of the estate, Bob suggests a distribution that favors him more than his siblings. He might justify this by pointing out various expenses he claims to have covered on behalf of the deceased, or just by emphasizing his own financial needs. Okay, that's the first hypothetical. Now let's look at what we call the delayed distribution hypothetical. Let's meet the Anderson family. Richard Anderson, the patriarch, passed away, leaving behind an estate comprising a family business, a residential property, and various financial assets. In his will, Richard appointed his eldest son, Daniel Anderson, as the personal representative of the estate. Daniel, the personal representative, is also a beneficiary, along with his two sisters, Emily and Sarah. The will specifies that the estate should be distributed equally among the three siblings. However, Daniel recognizes that he could benefit from a delay in the distribution of assets. Here's a scenario. The family business is a significant part of the estate. Instead of promptly initiating the process to sell or transfer the business, Daniel delays these actions, citing the need for extensive paperwork, market analysis, and other justifications. Daniel is responsible for liquidating certain assets to distribute cash among the beneficiaries. However, he deliberately postpones the sale of valuable assets, claiming that waiting for a more favorable market condition would maximize returns for the estate. During the delay, the estate holds significant funds in various accounts. Daniel, as the personal representative, is in control of these funds. The longer the assets are held without distribution, the more interest and other financial benefits accrue, potentially benefiting Daniel and the estate while disadvantaging his sisters. While the estate is in limbo, Emily and Sarah, the other beneficiaries, may experience financial strain, as they were expecting a timely distribution of their inheritance. The delay may also impact their ability to make certain financial decisions or investments. In this scenario, the conflict of interest arises when the personal representative / beneficiary strategically delays the distribution of assets to capitalize on interest accrual and potentially other financial gains. It emphasizes the importance of timely and transparent estate administration to ensure that beneficiaries receive their inheritance in accordance with the deceased's wishes. In this scenario, the conflict of interest arises as Daniel, who's the personal representative, is not adhering to the deceased's explicit wish for equal distribution among the siblings. Instead, he's attempting to secure a more significant share of the estate for himself, causing a conflict with the fair and equitable distribution outlined in the will. Now, our final hypothetical involves favoritism. Let's meet the Miller family. Margaret Miller, the matriarch, passed away, leaving behind an estate that includes a family home, a valuable art collection, and a substantial investment portfolio. In her will, Margaret appointed her son, Carl Miller, as the personal representative of the estate. Carl, as the personal representative, is also a beneficiary, along with his two sisters, Emma and Sophia. The will states that the estate should be distributed equally among the three siblings. However, Carl sees an opportunity to show favoritism toward his own family. Here's the scenario. Margaret had a renowned art collection with pieces that held sentimental and monetary value. Instead of following the will's directive to distribute the art equally among the siblings, Carl decides to keep the most valuable pieces for himself and his immediate family, claiming a stronger connection to these specific artworks. The family home is another substantial asset. Instead of selling the property and dividing the proceeds equally, Carl proposes to transfer the home exclusively to his name, arguing that it holds sentimental value to him and his family. The estate's investment portfolio consists of diverse assets. Carl, as the personal representative, decides to distribute the more lucrative investments to himself and his family, leaving Emma and Sophia with assets that have lower market value. In this scenario, Emma and Sophia, who are the other beneficiaries, feel the impact of favoritism as they receive a less valuable portion of the estate compared to their brother Carl. The unequal distribution goes against their mother's expressed desire for an equal share among the siblings. This example illustrates how favoritism can play a role in estate administration when the personal representative / beneficiary prioritizes their own interests and preferences over the fair and equitable distribution outlined in the deceased's will. It underscores the importance of impartiality and adherence to the testator's wishes in the execution of an estate. Well, that concludes another episode of the Wills, Women, and Wealth podcast. I hope you found today's discussion both informative and thought-provoking. As your Maryland estate planning and probate attorney, my goal is to empower you with the knowledge and insights needed to navigate the complexities of wills and estate management. We delved into various scenarios today, exploring conflicts of interest that can arise when a personal representative is also a beneficiary. From asset distribution challenges to undervaluation and even the subtle nuances of favoritism, these are real issues that families may face during the probate process. Remember, transparency is key. If you are in the position of both personal representative and beneficiary, it's crucial to uphold the integrity of the process and prioritize the wishes outlined in the will. Seeking professional advice can help you navigate these complexities while ensuring a fair distribution of assets. If you have specific questions or topics you'd like me to cover in future episodes, please feel free to reach out. You can connect with us through our website at elsawsmithlaw.com or on our social media channels at Elsa W. Smith Law. As we wrap up today, I want to leave you with this. Estate planning is not just about numbers and assets. It's about preserving legacies, honoring wishes, and ensuring a smooth transition for your loved ones. Take the time to have those crucial conversations, seek the guidance you need, and let's work together to build a secure future for you and your family. I invite you to schedule a complimentary 15-minute call with a member of our team. The link will be in the show notes. Thank you for joining me on Wills, Women, and Wealth. Until next time, this is Attorney Elsa W. Smith, your Maryland estate planning and probate attorney. Stay informed, stay empowered, and take control of your legacy.